Hello, everybody. We are finally live. Shit's been crazy. Audio situation, technical difficulties, but I think we finally got it working, or not we. I'm not gonna take the shine here. But yeah, so you guys let us know in any of the live chats if you guys can let us know if all the audio is sounding good. That would be awesome. So yeah, we have already kind of started with the spark and salutations because I needed to. I was going to go crazy. But before I even get into that, so you guys have some time to get everything together and join me. But I do want to introduce our guest co host. And some of you that are fans that watched last season may definitely recognize her from there, or because she's kind of like a celebrity, pretty much like a celebrity here in Sacramento. She's very humble as well. Yes. But welcome back, our guest co host. And it is the queen, the very talented, someone who's going to have a large hand in changing the art scene here in Sacramento, especially for the youth all the way through, us adults. So let me go ahead and give the floor here and welcome, Miss Taylor.
Hello, everyone. This
Yes.
is your girl Taylor Pannell of Taylormind Studios. I'm glad to be back. I'm excited.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. And even more importantly, thank you so much for dealing with the whole, technical issues. I really appreciate your patience. So
I understand. Trust me.
I'm
Let me know.
definitely, yeah, I'm definitely one to be able to talk a little bit. So I'm going to try to keep it down with the late time that we started. I'm going to try to go ahead and make sure that we're able to share all the information about what you have coming up. We'll talk a lot about our topic tonight, which I'm going to, set up in a minute here with our quote, but also kind of cover some of the juicy things that I have in store as well. So hopefully you're kind of caught up on some of the news. If not, I will get you caught up. Don't worry about it. But it's all the salacious good. It's the good stuff. All the good stuff. So before we get started, you guys, I have a quote every single episode. The theme of this episode is going to be ownership, and ownership for us, Black entrepreneurs and those that are budding entrepreneurs, those that are thinking about it, those that want to, get into it, but they're a little scared. Ownership is huge, and it's been a hot theme and topic within the Black culture, especially with some of the leaders within the industry right now, as far as content creation and podcasting and media, as far as they're concerned. They've been having a little back and forth between, talking about ownership. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Taylor, does everything sound good on your end still?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, awesome. So
Forgive me for
tonight's,
having some noise up there.
okay, you just let me know. Just be like, hey, let me know if it starts to sound weird. So tonight's quote is, I just believe in ownership. I believe in investing in yourself. Your foundation should be strong. And that quote came from Nipsey Hussle himself. Rest in peace. That man, if you don't know, please go do some research and find any motivational quotes or inspirational quotes or, quotes for knowledge, because he definitely had all of them. Very inspirational man, and a huge loss to our community and to the world, honestly.
Yeah.
So before I continue on here, because my nerves are still a little worn from our whole audio situation. It is spark and salutation time. So really quick, I wanted to share what's left of what we started with. It's a King Palm banana cream, and it's filled with Kim K, a nice Kim K strain, which is an indica. I believe it's an indica hybrid, and it's from our good friends and sponsors over at. You got it, babe. Chapo. There we go. Chapo. So shout out to Chapo, always with the love here. So I'm gonna go ahead and light this up and get into our spark and salutations. So speaking of ownership, and before we actually kind of jump into that, catch us up on what's been going on for you, especially during this coronacation. How have you been in this year?
I've been good. I had to take some time. I had to take a lot of time to myself. For the first 2.5 months, I actually went off the grid. A lot of people know, a lot of people don't know. But I just left, and I went on like this spiritual sabbatical, um, and I really honed in on myself, mentally, physically, emotionally, all the L's. I really just went in, um, and I walked to the river on a daily, literally every single day. Um, I ran, I journaled, I videoed. I have a whole documentary actually that I am working on.
Oh,
I just,
fantastic.
yeah, just a lot of cleansing and renewing and restoring that I did within that time. And when I came out of my sabbatical,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
water was in shambles. It
Excuse
was
me.
a lot.
So
And
this glow that I commented on when we first got on camera, I see where that glow's coming from. It's definitely more of a it's an inner glow that's coming outward. I mean, your skin is banging and flawless right now too. I'm going to tell you that as well. But that definitely can come from within. So it's noticeable. The aura, your color around you is. It was to me. It was always beautiful, and I said that from when I first met you. You know, your the initial vibe that you give out is very attractive, and it's very and it's not doesn't have to be attractive in a way that's sexual or anything, but just attractive in a way that it's enigmatic. You know what I'm saying? It's electric. You're somebody that I knew that I wanted to meet and that had a blessing to give to the world and not just to the local society and local community. um, so with that being said, do you feel even more so after your much needed, and I have to give you kudos for the courage to be able to take the time for yourself, do you feel even closer to kind of what I just described? How do you feel about yourself, and coming out of this little sabbatical that you took?
I came out of my cocoon, for what it's worth. I'm a different being. Um, not even just physically, but mentally, I am sound. Mentally, I am clear.
Hmm.
I hear the word of God like He's in my ear. It's just I feel empowered, and I feel
Yeah,
enlightened, and I feel free. That's the biggest. Actually, that's the biggest thing. I feel free.
that's beautiful.
Physically, I
And you can tell that it's the truth. There's no falsehood behind anything that you're saying. That's not forced. It's not for views. It's not for clicks. You're definitely speaking from your truth, and that's powerful. So,
thank you.
yes, no, I want to congratulate you on that. So, you said that some people knew, some people did not know. Was that a conscious choice or decision, or was it just that you kind of went away, but then like maybe family called, some very close friends?
Well, so I say some people knew because they were trying to figure out where I was. I didn't let
Okay.
anybody know.
Okay.
Uh, I only chose 4 people in my life that knew what was going on, so they wouldn't be concerned. But I told
Gotcha.
them not to let anybody know where I was.
Okay.
So people who were just contacting me, they just contacted me and left a voicemail. I hope you're okay. I'm hurt for you. I was here for you. But the people who didn't know, just because they were in their own, lives and they really noticed that I was gone.
Yes.
But no, I didn't answer any phone calls. Um, you took any voicemails and things. There's only 4 people that I even associated with, and that was that. You know,
That's new.
I even set up a tent in the studio, and I camped out indoors. It was a beautiful thing.
And we need to not be afraid. There's too many of us that are afraid or that too busy. Life is chaotic to be able to take that time when it's needed. Um, if you've ever felt that way, that you needed a sabbatical, if you needed a vacation, you needed to go on a strike, do it. You know, it's listen to your body, listen to your mind, listen to your spiritual being, and you know, be aware of those signs and signals that are telling you those things. And do what you can. If you have a life, if your mom, I get it, but do what you can, because if you're not good, you can't be good for them.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
yeah. So, how
Exactly.
would you say that this experience has influenced your art now and your artistic eye and vision?
So before I get into that, God gave me 3 lessons on that sabbatical. Let go and let him do what he got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, um, and heed to what you hear. And the biggest one is be still and be quiet. And with those 3 lessons that are my keys to life, those are my personal keys to life. Um, he let me know that he's in preparation for what's to come next. So I knew that as soon as I came out of my medical, that it was going to get hectic. Did I expect this? No, I did not.
Mm-hmm.
But I was prepared to get it popping. And that's that's exactly what it's doing. So yeah, it prepared me, but I'm also trying to at this current time mesh busy Taylor with serene Taylor and have a healthy balance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's super important. I've always said having a good kind of, well, for you, it's a little bit different because this is your passion. Of course, it's also work because you do, provide things that help to provide, for who you are and your lifestyle, which is completely fine. Um, but you have more than a work-life balance. You still have to be able to balance your passion and the growth. And I know that you were definitely picking up on the growth and your exposure here within the last, I'd say, year, or even since when you visited. So did that play or has that played into, what you needing to go ahead and take that break and take a step back? Because I think it's a lot of people right now that are in your place or that are in your place maybe a year ago. And, in 6 months to a year can be feeling the same way that you are and needing what you needed. And so I think it'd be, very inspirational if you can, expound on that, if that was, a catalyst for, you needing to take a step back.
Yes, I definitely let people know you need to learn how to be still in order to be successful. Because if you don't know how to be still, you will overwork yourself and you won't really get your best and you won't really get too accomplished and then you probably get unhealthy and then you just trickle down into a domino effect and then
Mm-hmm.
and then. So yes, I
Mm-hmm.
definitely feel like you do. It's a very um, big thing and it's a must to learn how to just pump your brakes and just sit down.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, and that has helped me a lot.
And that is, I will be, very transparent. That's hard for me because I'm always worried about going, going, going in the next thing. And especially within this, this time of the pandemic, my business has definitely taken a little bit of a hit, or it's slowed, not slow down. It's coming to a halt, which is understandable. But that has allowed me time to kind of sit back and have that time to be quiet and be still and to kind of think about a way that I can be resourceful and kind of pivot or do other things that still meet that desire. Because it's really hard for me to be idle, I realized after some time. So that's something that I've grown to. I'm not saying I've mastered it, um, but it is something that I've learned over, these 6, 7 months now, going on 8 months pretty soon. So yeah, that's something that it's you have to be aware and conscious to be able to gather that and take in that message and learn from it.
That actually
Um,
reminds me, um, also while you're being still and you know you want to do something, like be able to work through COVID, you need to write it down and plan it out.
mhm,
Like if I didn't write it down and plan out, because I plan everything I'm doing now, I planned it out. I still have plans to do with my business that I haven't even touched on yet or even announced yet.
mhm,
So definitely writing and planning out for when you do get to moving, then it's easy flowing and you're not stressing out and trying to do this and do that and do this and that and just smoothly goes. I mean, not
mhm.
everything goes smooth, but at least you know what to expect and what you want to do. And always have a plan A, B, C, D, F, D, all the way through the, always.
Yeah, yeah. I like to say, I mean, my vibe for this year has been know how to pivot. I'm a huge fan of Friends, so it kind of comes from Friends, an episode on there. If you guys have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But it's legit. It's just pivot. It's an urgent thing, but it's imperative if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to own your own, um, whatever it is, entity, art studio, book publishing, whatever it is, you want to be able to have ownership in it. So tell me a little bit about what you feel about our topic and ownership. How has that been a driving force for you, in what you do? And if it didn't always start off at that, when do you think it started to become more focused on having, ownership of all that is that you do? Of course, your art, but all that is that you have your hands in.
Well, I've always had this dream since I was 7. The exact same dream that I'm doing to fruition. My dream is a little bit more grand, baby steps.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but what ownership really means to me is just being able to make my visions come to life, my dreams come to life. And actually, also, when I indulge myself in the things that I want to do or I'm called to do or need to do, I see how much more I can do or I should do or things I didn't even know I could do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and just seeing my limits or what I, just really understanding myself within ownership. Because there's so many different avenues and aspects, especially with me when I do so many different things. It just shows me everything that I can really just do, and I don't know. It's like I don't know, I am blowing my own mind in this season of my life right now. Um, so
I love that. I love that. Everybody, you should blow your own mind every now and then. You
right.
should really look in the mirror and be like, how when you look in the mirror and you know that you look good, and you're like, "Well, okay, it's about to do it tonight." Like, about to, same same thing. You should be able to just sit down one day and look at what you've accomplished. Look at your vision board and notice that you're taking something off, or you're expanding on that, or you write in your journal and then you notice a year later that's come to fruition. You've spoke some shit into existence. Go ahead and revel in your own greatness. There's nothing wrong with that. And blow your own mind. I like that. Look, I like
It took me a
that.
long time to be able to do that though. I will say
Mm-hmm.
that. It
Mm-hmm.
can come immediately sometimes, especially if you struggle with insecurity. And I still today people say things like what you said, me being a celebrity, what are you talking about? Like that means a lot to me. I just did a collaboration with the Lavender Library and it's like LGBT
Mm-hmm.
community center, and they called on to me and they reached out to me because they called me an influencer. What are you talking about? I don't know what that means. you
I
know,
I agree. Yes, you are very much. But
that's how things like that are hard to swallow, or even accept. But I see me and I see my growth and I love me. And right now I'm my best girlfriend that I ever had in my life, and I'm just enjoying it.
oh, I have chills. I have chills like I do when I no, it's powerful, and that's why they considered you an influencer. What you just said is influential. I would much rather have my daughter sit and hear what you have to say and the message that you have to give, other than some of the other things that are available. And I'll watch them, but I'm also grown. And so I don't, take it in the same way that a young child would. So there could be another 7-year-old sitting around right now, an 11-year-old, who completely connects with what message you're giving or who needs it. And so that's influential. Um, and it's usually people like you who are very sweet, very and humble, and just no, 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 and very much mean it. Whereas me as an Aries, I'm like, no, come on, no, stop, no, no, don't, no. You can tell that it is something that you would need to get used to, but that's why you're blessed with it, because it's people like you who deserve it. That pure heart and just that ability to be transparent and who they really are, um, as well as giving a message that's larger than what you think, and touching more than who you think. So I have to say, kind of going back into the time of COVID, I kind of noticed this inner strength that came out in you when unfortunately the city was going through the protest. and there was some of the damage. And you lived right on the main street that kind of took, that was like the spot where it jumped off, where all the damage started. And I remember seeing a post, and you decided to put some of your fantastic artwork, and write a little message as well, letting people know people live here, Um, and it was protection. Let me say it was smart, but there was a strength in that, and I saw this kind of inner strength and this kind of community leader just for your kind of area that was being developed in a way. And we haven't gotten to talk then, and I didn't want to have to tell you this like through a message, or this is a little bit better, and who knows, we're going to be able to see each other, so no time better than now. But just how inspirational that was to me, and how I felt blessed even more to have the opportunity to know you, because you were doing something that said a lot.
Can I tell you about that night? Because it's actually more to that.
Yes. Yes.
So we all knew that it was going to go down before it went down, especially since I know most of the people in the community who go to
Mm-hmm.
read it or whatever. So I already knew that it was something was gonna pop up.
Mm-hmm.
So I told the manager here at the law, you should probably put a sign up. Do you want me to make a sign? And they said no. I said okay. I said it might be useful because you can't even say nobody is it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm already I'm on edge. My anxiety's high, and I'm just racking my brain. And then something tells me, nah, don't even make a sign. So I'm painting, making a sign, and all I hear is outside, bang, 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 like this crazy destruction outside.
Oh my gosh.
I gotta hurry. So I'm like on the last word, and all I hear is, and it's a fire alarm going off. I said, too late. I said, let me hurry up. I'm trying to get these letters. Literally painting each little stencil, okay, of these letters. Trying to get it paint to it. I'm like, should I take my dog and my lizard? No, not yet. So I get out there. I go down the stairs, run out. I'm running past the guards, and I see the manager, and she's looking at me distraught. And I said, I'm putting it up. So just do it.
Yeah.
And I'm running, and like, I stay there. And then the neighbor goes, really? I go, I keep coming. He said, really, you gonna put that up? And after I finished stable gunning it, I bought my stable gun and everything. I said, what do you mean? Did you read it? He said, what? I said, but did you read it? Or did you just look at the fist on there?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then he read it. He said, well, you think that's really going to help? But without even saying anything, all the members are outside said, yes, in unison. And I just let it go. I was mad. They just told me to let it go. Can you hear me?
Yes, that just got like so much clearer too. Like you were clear before, but that just got so much clearer.
It must have been my headphones.
Yeah, great.
But they just told me to let it go, and I tried to listen or whatever. And as soon as all the crowds in the riot, because they were stealing stuff and they was running, almost everybody who came by, they was like, oh, the people live here. Because what they had done was they threw like a little bomb or something in the 7-Eleven under our building.
Oh, yeah, the new one. Yes.
So it's connected to us, so it put our lives in jeopardy. Because if that goes down, we go down too. If that's on fire, we on fire too. And so everybody started saying that and thanking me. And then when it wasn't died down, but when I felt like, I can go back upstairs, get my pets, it came down. And then the security guard decided not to come in because he was scared to come in.
Oh, good security guard.
So I told management, I said, well, I have a security background. Do you want me to stay and fill in? And they go, are you sure? I said, yeah. And the security guard was like, well, I can stay as much as I can overtime, but I have to go to work in the morning. He's like, so I try to stay as long as possible. And then if she wants to take over, then she can. Mm-hmm. So I ended up staying until 6 o'clock in the morning. and taking over the shift.
Wow.
With my pocket knife and my gear on.
Yeah, and that's what you had. But see, that's all you needed.
Yeah.
That's all you needed, because you were definitely being protected, in any other way. Yeah, we don't have to go to church here, but you know what I'm saying. But you were definitely protected. That now your story means so much even more to me, and I'm really trying not to get teary eyed. But wow, that is fantastic. I feel, like I said, even more blessed now, even more blessed to know somebody that has such most people would have left, and I'm sure a lot of people did. There's probably grown men that could have stayed around there and helped out. See, yeah, and you were just protecting what's yours and what you thought was right. And I remember seeing the picture, and I remember driving through, and the first place I looked when we were driving, maybe like 2 weeks later, I looked over in the direction of your building and saw that it all looked okay. It was boarded up, but better than being smashed in and you guys having to do repairs. So that's a blessing. That's a blessing. So I know that you had, like you said, a lot of the community that had to do with the protest, and I definitely want to talk about that, because the thing that infuriated me the most is the way that the media covered it, and the local media, and they definitely focused on the wrong part. You can easily see the people that were protesting. You can easily see the people that were looting, and it was very easy and distinctive. And the fact that they tried to lump them all together, the fact that they tried to lump them all together, I was very, very, very disappointed in the local media, because normally they are objective. They're not, they're not subjective. So it's, like I said, it was just infuriating to me. And as someone that was a little bit closer, and you're in with those that, those organizers and whatnot, how do you feel that it was handled within Sacramento as a whole, media wise, through our local government? What's your take on that?
Well, being the fact that I was outside and people, actually, I want to show you something. People they were running in front of my building with the stuff they were looting. So I saw what they looked like. And I want to tell you, not until the last hour of the heavy looting did I see anybody who looked like me. Matter of fact, I seen a girl who looked like she was 12 with carrying a whole just load of things, laughing and happy. Now, I have three single pairs of shoes that were dropped in front of my building. This is one of the ones I'm working on.
Oh, yes. That is fire.
Yeah, still working on it, but this is one of the pairs. I haven't even showcased that yet, but there's firsthand stuff that I seen.
Yeah.
A lot of them, they weren't. It was at the night, but they also used the front of my building as a stopping ground to
really? Oh, did they? So they pulled up there.
Yes, they went there to switch cars and to put stuff in, and we're just
shut up. Because if you think about it, we don't have to tell anybody where you are, but that is kind of close to where they were at Chic and at at that. So not too far away, but they can run away, disperse. I mean, they had game plans. We were watching the news, and the hubby was like, look, those are neighborhoods, especially the ones down in Malibu, when they went down there and they just went to all the other neighborhoods. You knew that was certain neighborhoods that got together. They had a stick in the dirt, and they were like, all right, we'll go here, then you will go here, and we'll come. I mean, we watched it, and of course, that was all that was on the media, on the news here. So we watched every live shot, and that's what we thought. We saw the night that they really got Bevmo, and I was like, they're showing a lot of people coming out with the Hennessy and whatnot, but I'm also noticing the ones that are already up the street watching. Yeah. As you guys are focusing on a certain group that are coming out of the store.
It was a proud moment, though.
What was that? Another one? Because you had
it was something I saw, and I promise you, I got so happy when this homeless man walk down the street with a brand new blanket.
Oh, now that.
I was like, go ahead.
Right. And I
Go
wish you
ahead.
got some new shoes. That's what they should have
No,
been
there
doing.
was someone who got some new shoes.
That's good. No, that's good. That's a blessing.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that I remember we stayed away, for a bit. Of course, you kind of had to. Now, were you there when they brought in like the National Guard? And that one image of them kind of just marching in, rolling in. How was that? Were they near your home?
I was there.
Oh,
There was a part. There was 2 instances where I got so wrecked emotionally, and I just had to go. The first instance, I actually did something that I'm not proud of at the protest, and I don't even know if anybody got footage. I mean, they saw what I did, but I did something at one of the protests because I have never been so pulled with adrenaline and anger and frustration and hurt,
mm-hmm.
and just had to go out there, and I created this piece, and I forced the officers to take it. Okay, that was before the National Guard. The second time the National Guard went out there, I kind of redeemed myself that same day. But when the National Guard came out, I went back out there, and then I created another art piece for people to actually sign on there and express how they feel. So I have a collaboration with me in Sacramento. But I experienced that firsthand, and it was definitely unnecessary. And I just felt like they were all being just bullies. They're just bullying people.
That's what it seemed like. I mean, just from the incident on the freeway, that was nothing but when they pulled the girl out of the car, when they, I mean, it was just nothing but bully tactics. And, I think it was 2 episodes ago, my quote was, what Malcolm X, said. And it said, at times, we're tired of being sad and we become angry.
Yeah.
And we're past angry. We're tired. We are
tired.
Yeah, tired of being tired and deliriously tired.
Traumatized.
Yes. So where do you think it's going to go? Where do you think that energy is going to be faced, and how do you think it's going to be directed? And I'm very proud, though. I'm very proud of the legit protest, not the looting. Let's separate that. I think we've developed that, but not everything else. The continued protest.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm very proud of. Because nothing's going to change. It may not happen this year, and we know it's been a shitty year. But what we have to do is continue that, that protest and let that anger and that, that just being sick and tired of being tired, let that drive us to where we need to go. There's a lot of minor things, but we can do it, and we have a lot of young people, which is what I hate, I'm sounding so old right now, just you young people, but we have a lot of young people that are focused on that right now, and that's their passion, and they feel that that's their purpose, and I very well believe that it is, and that's something that is a very positive thing for Sacramento. Now we just have to get the right government and the right people to represent that, and continue on with that. So
I might have a controversial opinion. I'm all for protests, and I'm all for seeking justice and wanting equality and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, just like yourself, can't get into any relationship until you love yourself. And I feel like this community can't do much and ask anybody to do anything until we come together as a community. And one of the things we need to start with, which is also what I'm trying to do, is we all need therapy.
Oh, yeah.
And I would like to have a workshop where I have a Black therapist here to just have some open discussions with the community. The only reason why I haven't now, because I'm looking for one. So putting it out there, I am looking for a Black therapist right now to have a workshop.
And I will make sure that we tag, because I know a couple of organizations, and I know that I found one here in Sacramento. So I'll make sure I'll share that with you, a Black woman. And I think that is imperative. I agree with you 1000%. It's not something where we're evolving Black people are okay with saying that they're vegans or vegetarians, and that they meditate, and that they do yoga, and that if people are starting to come out from behind.
Yes.
What I don't want to say the mask of religion, but I think just the cultural way that we've been, indoctrined, and then the way that we've grown up. For many, you were afraid to say and do certain things. But I think, like I said, now we're evolving, we're understanding the benefit of all aspects, understanding everything and implementing that into your life, and helping that, to develop your health, your wellness, and well-being. And so I definitely agree with you on that. And therapy is 1000%, at the forefront, because like you said, we have traumatizing things that have occurred within your lifetime. And I think prior that a lot of people may not be able to work their way through. And we've become so accustomed to just surviving and to being and to doing what we have to do that it's sorry, I was over here. Well, I'm being serious. So we're making me laugh. You just make me mess up. So yes, so we're so accustomed to, like I said, just surviving and doing what we need to do, that we don't deal with, the things that we need to deal with, the everyday stress or the past trauma, things from your childhood, things that definitely we, like I said, we just kind of bury deep down, and we go, because that's what we've always done.
I mean, I feel like even when it becomes who's more woke, like there shouldn't be no division. We all don't have to agree to be connected. You know what I'm saying? We all don't have to operate the same and move the same to be connected. I feel like there's a lot of inner workings inside and lack of conversations inside the community that need to happen in order to be a mass healing. And I know I can't change the world with a workshop, but I want to try to start something different to maybe I inspire, others to
conversation. I mean, the same way that I can't even think anything off the bat, but let's just say the way that the move throughout the pandemic, people have started to become entrepreneurs. Okay. They've really started to go, what, why should I work for somebody else? I'm going to take this time. I'm going to take the stimulus money, whatever it is, and I'm going to go ahead and start what I want to do. And there's been a lot of success stories within this year of 2020. So the same way that's kind of like, a spark was lit, and then now it's just like a wildfire. Same can happen with therapy, and I think there is a move towards it. With you have things like what is it, Headspace, and you have apps and things like that. It makes it easier, and no excuses for you to just be able to get on and talk to the therapist. More insurances are covering it, and I know that it's a hard time, but a lot of people will work with you to be able to find a budget to be able to spend the amount of time that they need to, or that you can afford, as long as you're starting to work on your mental health. So I give kudos. I'm all with you on that when you sign me up. But before we jump into some of the things that you have coming up, because I know that you have an event that's going to be coming up in the next couple of days that we want to let everybody know about. I do want to say my baby is waiting for you to give him the let's go, for him to come and do a show with you, because he was ready before the COVID hit. He was ready to come and do the show with you and showcase it.
He can come on Sunday.
Oh, he's not ready now, but I will let him know. We're not ready now. I will let him know, though, that he can start getting things ready, because being home and doing distance learning, he needs something.
Yeah, I don't know. See, look, so I teach children in adult classes, right?
Yes.
And I was a teacher. I am a teacher. I have credentials and all that. And I was gonna do like some days out of week with distance learning and start my classes again. But I'm gonna be real. I don't mind going out of the studio and teaching children, but I think that I need a break.
And see, when you need a break, go ahead and listen to yourself saying you need a break.
I think I need a break.
If you do start virtual classes, if you do start a virtual course or class, and I think that's something that is, that's what I've been looking for. I've been looking for online, or virtual piano classes. I've been looking for, because he wants to be a DJ. And so he wants to learn how to produce music. And I'm like, well, let's start with you learning an instrument. So got him a keyboard for his birthday. He needs to learn how to start playing that. But he's also an artist. He wants to do art. He wants to cook. And it's very hard to find classes that are affordable, or even offered occasional free, that he can Zoom into, or that he can even go to and social distance and wear a mask. It doesn't even have to be every week. It can be once a month. So I will be very happy, and we will be participants when and if you can start the art classes again.
Yeah, I say that to say is I'm looking for other instructors to do it instead.
Well, good. Yeah. Everybody listen up. I know. Yeah. Listen up. We will be sharing this, and I'll make sure
to teach different things. I'm still doing adult classes. I feel like I have a little bit stronger temperament right now for that. But I'm looking for other instructors to do various things here.
You definitely have to have a temperament, like, especially my 9-year-old has the energy of like 7 9-year-olds. So I love, you see that, guys, when you take time for yourself, you're able to go ahead and identify those moments and those things that are triggered and that may not work. And you're okay with saying no. That's something that was huge. Did you have a hard time with that prior to your?
Because I'm good at it, and people like to tell you to do things just because you're good at it, and not because it's meant for you. And I still think I'm meant to be a teacher. I just need a break.
Yeah. No, I can definitely understand. Yeah. And you definitely need that. Like, I need, my child is texting me right now, and I'm like, I need a break. So what I did want to do really quick is, like I said, before we jump into the events that you have coming up, or I know the event that's going to be on Sunday, correct?
Yes.
Okay, we'll talk about that. I do want to go ahead and shout out our sponsors a bit here. We do have a couple sponsors, as always. We have our very first, and probably like our premium platinum, sponsor, Monthleaf. It also could be because she's a dear friend, but Monthleaf is a fantastic subscription box service. If I didn't have to pull up my background and stuff right now, I'd get the box out. I forgot, but the information is, going along our beautiful pictures here, our profiles. So Monthleaf is where you can get $150 of dispensary type items, or just different brands. And they can be CBD, they can be edibles, they could be maybe a cute little pipe, maybe a beautiful pre-rolled. It could be a topical. It's anything that can help to enhance your wellness, and it'll come in a nice little box for you. So it can be especially curated based on the different type of box that you prefer. And you can check out the 3 different types that are on the website. But what happens is that they work with local dispensaries. And I know that one in particular of their top dispensaries and their providers of their brands is a Black owned business, which I love as well. So that's always kudos there. But Monthleaf is, it's a service that you can use each month. It's $150 worth of product, and you get it for $100. So if things are getting back to normal for you, you're finding that you're building up that savings account again, and you want to be able to have your items delivered to you and don't have to worry about it, then Monthleaf is going to be your option. So trust what the girl says. The Mary Jane Maven definitely 1000% recommends Monthleaf. And we do thank them for being a sponsor of this podcast and this episode. And we love you. You guys should love them too. So thank you so much to Monthleaf. And I'll do our next one in a bit. Producer over there. So yes. Let's get back to our guest co-host here. Once again, this is Taylor of Taylormind Studios. We're talking about ownership tonight. We're talking about, a lot of different topics here. This is why I love my show, because we kind of get off on tangents, but it always ends for a good combo. So it's a little different than last time you were on. Last time you were on, it was a studio full of smoke. I kept microphoning, and you guys were like, pass it. I was like, I did. And I was... that episode. Shout out to everybody from that episode. Great episode, guys. Great episode. I'm sorry. JP. Oh yes, JP. Shout out. I didn't even say it. I'm sorry. These headphones are really damn good. They're noise canceling, so I didn't hear them. All right. So, honey, go ahead and won't you share what you have coming up this week? And you guys are looking for something to do. Are tickets still available? Share all about it.
So every month there's a different artist that showcases in the art gallery here. And this month we're honoring JT Tilson. He's having a solo show in the art gallery.
Okay.
When they do showcase in the art gallery, I throw them an art show. And the first half of the art show is Q&A artist talk. And then intermission, I have it always catered by A New Kitchen. And then we have performances by different artists. Yeah. So this month we're having that. I always have 2 different show times due to COVID. I only allow 15 people in per event. So we have two sessions, exact same thing each session, just to give more people the chance to come and have fun with us.
Okay.
And I check temperatures at the door. Social distancing and masks are required. If they don't have a mask, you can purchase one from me. But yeah, we're gonna rock the house. This crowd will be definitely a little bit more live than the last one. We have some kind of some big name artists here in Sacramento who made a great name for themselves and have some groupies and whatnot. So
it's
gonna be a fun one on Sunday.
You need the bouncers again. You need the people to keep the people away.
Actually, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's been told to me that people know I don't play.
So then I told you that before though. Would you do it? I was like, I don't think anybody's gonna stop. The vibe and the group of people that are there, they're not the. They may get a little rowdy during a performance or whatnot, dancing or whatever, but they don't seem like the type that are about the, with the bullshit, luckily. So
I do have a bigger audience though. I think people that came to the last art show thought that I knew everyone there, and I was like, I actually don't know anybody.
Really?
So since I do have a wider audience now, I'm entertaining strangers.
Okay.
But, the artists know I don't play.
Yes.
So they communicate to the fans that I don't play.
And that's always
it's always love and vibes, and people just have respect, especially when they come in my space. People immediately give me respect. Mm-hmm. They have respect just from what I do and how the
well, they damn sure. Because not only is that your space with your studio, that is also your home.
Yes.
So respect both. You have the right to be like, respect my house. You have the right to get a little house party and stuff on them. I know that's an old reference. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Right.
I know Chaz, but he didn't remember. He didn't know any movie whenever we said it. So I don't know. So one more time, because we want to be able to share the information while we're talking. What is the name of the artist once more?
JT Tilson.
Okay, that's what I thought. I got that. Okay. And then it's this Sunday. And like you said, you have 2 times, and there's tickets still available. Is one sold out? That's right.
They sell out pretty quick. I only actually advertised for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Purpose.
Yeah.
And they sold out in 1 week. So.
Well, everybody, let's give her an applause. That is fantastic. And she's not an influencer. She's not a celebrity in Sacramento, but her events are selling out. You can't get people to come to stuff. You got to have them beat free tickets, for people to come nowadays. So
I'm working on something.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for my skates.
Okay.
But we about to be skating. Just wait for me to get my skates, and then I'm going to drop that flyer.
Okay. Now I will come, but if I just stand cute on the side,
It's okay.
Okay, because we're
gonna be outside though. We're gonna be outside.
Okay, I'll stand cute on the side in the shade under an umbrella. No, it's okay. With my mask on, of course. No, I like that. We definitely have to talk, because I am putting together. I'm with a tour group now that's called Local Long, and basically I create my own tours, and I wanted to talk with you about involving you in that. So we got to talk. It's all about us helping out each other and building up each other. Yes. And I mean, to be able to share your art, I think your artwork is beautiful. Whenever I come in there and I'm stuck and I'm awestruck in front of the art that you're able to create. I can't draw a stick figure. So
Not yet. Come to my class.
Is it a well? Okay, we'll talk to because I was about to say something. Just we may have children watching. See, I was going to say something, but all right. So, are you already planning for next month's event, or are you kind of like you said taking a break from everything after this event this month, or?
Nope. I am continuously. I'm fully in full artist full time, full entrepreneur
Okay.
full time. So I keep it coming. There's actually other events that I haven't dropped yet.
Okay.
But since I like giving you the scoop.
Well, thank you.
Open mic nights are coming soon. There's a series called Taylor Sessions coming soon. There's a lot of things coming soon. And
you keep me in the
the
loop for it all. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just got that mural done, and I'm actually doing another mural next week on a restaurant.
That's fantastic. So share where your mural is now.
The one right now is in the Ali Yusufi Square on 7th and K, right across the street from the Doko sign, and right in front of Beach Hut Deli on a shipping container. Okay. I did all 4 sides of the shipping container. And the biggest piece that people love is I highlighted a lot of artists and activists in Sacramento.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to go see that and take the boys. We like to take the boys around to look at all the different murals. The hubby can't hear because we weren't trying to mess up the sound even more, so he's not listening this time. But babe, she has a mural on the corner of 7th and K, right across from the Doko sign, on shipping crates right by Beach Hut Deli on all 4 sides. So
yeah, I'll be doing odd cookie.
We need applause.
I'll be doing the restaurant Odd Cookie Bakery next week. I haven't told anybody that either yet. So.
Oh well, look. We're just getting the scoop here, guys. We're family. We're family. I can bring people back and look what they share. I thank you for those little tidbits. I feel special. And I know where I'm going to be taking my boys definitely over the next couple of days. Well, hopefully, if all is well, I'll be able to go take them and see that. And I'll be happy to say, this is people that your mama know. No, my son will be excited to know and to see, and I think that'll inspire him to know that you are doing something like that and contributing to just the beautification of Sacramento and especially Midtown. So, girl, that's the first of many. I can't wait to see you.
Yes.
On one of the biggest buildings out here. I can't wait to see it.
Did you get to see the Slim and Huskies
installation? I haven't been. We haven't had to drive through there because the boys and hubby aren't in school. But I drove by there. God, last time we were in, where did I go? We were in a park. We drove down there recently. I can't remember for what. But I didn't in the seating area, correct?
No, I took over the whole women's bathroom.
Oh, you did the bath? Okay.
I did the whole art installation in the women's bathroom.
Okay, because I know they had like the outside worked on, the outside seating area.
No, you didn't see that. You didn't see my work.
No, I did. That's what I'm saying. I've only seen the Instagram when they were talking about we have a seating area outside, and I know there was a little artwork done out there that wasn't there before because I used to do events at that space before. Mm-hmm. But I will be I wanted to go already, but my husband was like, "That pizza, sounds like a special pizza. Like you put pears on it." I'm like, "Yes, you can." So I'm gonna have to convince him to go. At least for the beer. I know the beer is good, but I will be going there. I will be taking pictures. I will be shouting out like, you're my daughter or something. I know her. That's my friend.
So Kevin Johnson called me on the phone and asked me to do artwork in the women's bathroom. And I said I can do whatever I want. And when you walk into it, it's been tailored.
Oh my gosh, that is so awesome, girl.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
I have a border in there. I have a mural on the wall. I have art everywhere. Like,
I'm not an influencer. I don't know where people get that from. I'm not a celebrity. I don't know where people get that from. But Kevin Johnson just calls me and says, "Will you?" That girl. Oh, I wish you could see. I have chills for you. I am so excited for you. This will be the second episode of this damn season. I'm about to cry off of some great news that a queen is sharing about what she is doing and what she's providing to this universe and of course our everyday lives. But I see things on a much grander scale. And just like I told our guest co-host that I cried before, Lady Canna, Miss Tiffany Watkins, I just told her how blessed we are to have somebody that's truly living in their purpose and how we're all benefiting from it. And I see, and I have to say the same thing to you. We are truly blessed from you just living so deep and so true in your passion and purpose. It is, it's all inspiring. And we all are going to be so thankful one day, especially those of us that, you know, truly know the influencer and celebrity herself, to be able to say that we had the time. We had that time. So that is such a blessing. So before we talk a little bit more about, and before we wrap up, before what you have going on and what what else you want to share, share your information about your classes and when they'll be back and things like that. I do want to get into a little bit of the mess. We gotta talk about a little bit of the mess that goes on. We got to bring it all full together here. So we're going to talk about a little bit of this. We're talking about ownership, but we kind of talked about that pretty well. I do want to talk about the change in algorithm on Instagram. Have you read about that? Have you seen any posts about that, or about that at all?
I heard rumors, and I feel like something's been going on with my Instagram, but I haven't really noticed what it was.
It's definitely something going on. So they changed the algorithm, and basically that algorithm hurts content creators. It hurts artists. It hurts entrepreneurs. It hurts podcasters. It hurts anybody that's creating content that they use their Instagram for kind of marketing and for public relations and things like that. If you're not using Instagrams, that hurts them. So they want to be able to drive business to their advertising instead of us using our platforms to be able to, to get out our message, to get out and use our platform and our pages the way that we rightfully should be able to. But so that is exactly what it is. So I actually posted, and I'll send you the post. I thought I tagged you in it, but I'll send it to you if not tag you in it, about how you can repair it, how you can fix it. Okay. And how you can try to get around it. So, because I know for you, it's very important. If you're not able to, promote your events, what's the purpose of using that platform? You might as well just go ahead and, use something else. So it says a lot about our social media. What we already know, that everything that we do is recorded. We know that. And it's kind of like, well, it's a lesser of two evils kind of thing. Like I'm not that important. They know this much or whatever. But when it gets into your business and your livelihood, and they're able to start messing it up because they want to utilize, their business in their pockets when they're already billionaires. Right. That's just not cool. So the fact that we share it and then we share it between all content creators is super important. So once I share it with you, tag some other people as well and spread the word, because they've probably also realized something, kind of wonky going on, but didn't really know what it was. So I have several pages, so I have to kind of work around it on all these pages. So it's super important, guys. I know that there are a lot of celebrities, so maybe you should be doing it as well. Local celebrity. Some really big celebrities, celebrities that have, tens of millions of followers, Kim Kardashian and, well, any of her family, the baby, I think, is on it. And a couple other people that I read, they're doing like a boycott because they're feeling the same, probably not the same as the rest of us are feeling the same, the same hit, but they're realizing the same thing. So maybe if enough of them are on a boycott and the rest of us kind of follow suit, they'll change the algorithm back. So that's just a little bit of information, a little bit of a bullshit of the week here. Right. Good thing for Mary Jane, because it's kept me sane when I realized that and I read that the other day.
Facebook has been actually popping for me lately.
You know what? People have said that. They said kind of it's going back. It's the pendulum's kind of swinging the other way. Yeah. And I've only actually posted, probably the most recently in like 3-4 months, probably the last 2 or 3 weeks. And one of my most recent posts, has to do with kind of the other big story of the week, which is the divorces that have been filed for this week in the celebrity world. Did you hear about that? I know you're a celebrity, so did you hear
I actually made a joke today and I said, when did Cardi B and Offset become the new Jay-Z and Beyonce?
When WAP came out. No. Look, that took her. That's my girl. That video was fire. Megan Thee Stallion it's the visuals, everything. But I guess she told him, she could have filed before, but she waited till that just dropped big and solidified her, helped her album. I'm sure her album's going to go big and do big numbers. And she's letting him know, I don't need you. And I'm kind of sad. I will admit, because they're cute and they're young, and who knows where they,
I mean, Cardi, if I'm a celebrity, Cardi can call me.
Right. You can be the next one. I know there's tons of people going, who's her next one? So look in the local Northern California, celebrity pool. You can find your new ones, Cardi. What did you hear on the other side? There's a young man. Well, I guess you can't really call him young because Ray J is not too young anymore. But Ray J filed for divorce.
I didn't know.
Yes, he did. Now, after Princess filed for divorce a couple of months ago and then withdrew it because saying they were going to work on it, he went ahead and filed for divorce yesterday, saying that he loves her and wants the best for her and their kids, and there may be somebody out there better for her. So, yes, he filed for divorce. So, I'm wondering, that's a little suspicious. Just,
I don't know.
she withdrew.
Person to me anyway.
Very, very. I mean, that whole family. And that actually, you're leading me into some good segues. That kind of leads me into the versus battles. I wanted to talk about that, a little bit. Have you been watching those at all? Did you watch the Brandy Monica or?
I keep if I'm around someone and they're playing it, then I see it.
Okay.
I'm like the Brandy and Monica one. I was gung for on until I saw Monica's energy, and I was like, "What's the point of watching this? She's real stale right now."
Very much so. Both of their
Brandy
energy
always
was off.
brings energy, but
yeah, both of their energy was off. I mean, once we found out afterwards that Monica socked her at the backstage at the American Music Awards, I was like, oh yeah, like right before they went on to sing "The Boy Is Mine," she socked her because she said she looked like she was going to say something slick. It's kind of funny, but.
No, it is
but
right.
I was like, and they had to go on a
real beef. I thought that was
yes,
people just saying some beef.
That energy was so funky. It was so funky. I think all the way around. I think Brandy ended up kind of coming around to what Monica was putting out, and then it just became very odd. And then Monica with her poetry. I mean, not Monica, Brandy with her poetry, her outfit. It was just kind of distracting. So I just went ahead and I turned it off. Now, the most recent one with the aunties, Miss Patty and Miss LaBelle. You could, I
love them to death. Like I couldn't.
Miss Patty, I say Miss LaBelle.
I would have felt like I was
Miss Gladys. Yes, you could. Oh, Miss Gladys and Miss Patty. They put it out there. It was definitely like my husband said. It was like Saturday, Sunday morning, getting up. Your mom was like, "Get up and clean." That after she all the cleaning done, she made you some grits and some like pancakes or something, and it was like, get outside. But it was very, I was surprised that I knew as many songs, but I will have to say what was most impressive is after the energy of Brandy and Monica, it was kind of like, they were like, this is how divas do it. This is how queens do it. So it was enlightening and powerful. And then those ladies are 70 plus years old.
Really?
Look good.
I didn't even think about that.
Sound good. Oh, and they brought on Dionne Warwick, and she's 80.
Oh,
and
wow.
It took her about 7.5 minutes to walk out there. Now, I want to be able to walk that slow or fast when I'm 80. I want to be just like all of them. But she walked out there, sang, and then was like, okay, are we done? I want to go put my jeans back on. I was like, oh, they are so just in their prime.
That is
aunties
cute.
And all that. Yes, that's what it was.
Okay, well,
so
I'm gonna have to find the clips then.
Yeah, you can find. I'm sure you can watch them in full on YouTube right now if you look for them. Okay. But my favorite of all of them has to be DMX and Snoop. That's my favorite out of all of them. Did you not? You didn't catch that one either?
I didn't even hear about that one.
Oh yes. Well, first you gotta look that one up. Then look up the aunties. Then just text me. And let me know. Yes, that fire. So I want to know from you guys in the comments, or and later on comments, or whatever you want to do. Hit me up on social media. Which verses so far has been your favorite, and which one, and who do you think won? Whichever one was your favorite. So we'll talk about that in a future episode. But So what I want to do before we get back to learning a little bit more or hearing if you have anything to wrap up about your business is I want to tell other people out there and other Black people how you can become an entrepreneur as well. And that's through a fantastic service called Black Business in a Box. So Black Businesses in a Box is going to be your way that you're able to get your foot in the door. It's going to be kind of like a full drop shipping kind of business, not kind of, pretty much is. So you're going to be able to make this investment. You're going to use my link that we'll put in the bottom of, the show notes and everything, and I'll put it on social media. You use my link and you're going to get 10% off. And right now they have 50% off all of the businesses. So it could be something like eyelashes. It could be something like a premium hair business. It could be something like designer watches, purses, toy store, pet supplies, gadgets. You go in there, you take your pick, start your business. It's a great way to do so. They have great numbers as far as what you're able to make monthly. You just have to do the work as far as promoting, and there's nothing easier for you to be able to start being your own entrepreneur and ending 2020 on a bang, because we know that has been pretty damn shitty. So blackbusinessinabox.com, and we'll have the links for you where you're able to use 10% off for me. And then, like I said, right now, all of the stores are 50% off. So thank you to Black Business in a Box for being a sponsor of this podcast and this episode, which we know is themed about ownership. So to wrap things up here, the owner of all, Sacramento, Northern California art influence celebrity, the owner of a fantastic studio. Anything else that you have to share? Like you said, you do teach adult classes. You will be getting back around to teaching kids classes. And are you going to venture into those being more, in person, or are you right now sticking to virtual?
I think virtual is actually a new genre. And so I want to include that option anyway. Especially before COVID, I had children who were autistic, who I also, mentored or took on. And so I think it would be beneficial for those children to also experience what I'm doing virtually if I'm not in the space mentally to come in person as well. But I do plan on doing private small groups and then be able to social distance and do virtual at the same time. Or vice versa, or, pick certain days. But I plan to do both is what I'm saying. And there's just many events coming, different things. Me and my father are working on a reading, a play. So stay tuned for that.
I love that.
Yeah.
So we just watched the Medea farewell play. And let me tell you, I used to be, in drama. I used to do plays, and it's something that, like, whenever I watch one, the hubby can tell you, I'm like, oh my God, I miss that so much. And I'm always like, babe, did you see how they turned right there? Because you can't turn your back to the audience. Or you know what they're doing right there? He's like, it's okay. All right. The stage is beautiful. And I think it's something that as Black people, we need to get back to, because we have a huge history with, with acting and stage work and sing. And if you guys haven't, please go on YouTube. You can watch the full Medea farewell play. I don't care if you've never watched one. Watch this one. You get something from it. It is a damn good play. I see why that man is a billionaire. Very talented. So that I would look forward to that. I will definitely look forward to that. And I'll be helping.
I mean, if you're an actress, let me know.
You can't tell. No, no, definitely. That's something, I'm working on. It's on my vision board, and getting back into that. It's just being able to express yourself, which is why I feel it's a huge thing for schools to have. And artwork and just any form of self-expression that's within the form of art or music or dance is super important. So that's something that we need to definitely start giving back to our children. And as adults, we can use it too. It's a great way for you to tap into some emotions. So I love that. I'm so excited for you. I want to thank you so much for being flexible with all of the, technical difficulties. Thank you for sharing your point of view. Thank you for sharing your time. Thank you for the, the scoops and the what you have coming on. I appreciate that. I'm super excited. Before we go, I do want to give our roses, to our Black businesses and those that are, I want to say, bosses in the world of cannabis that are, Black, Indigenous people of color. So the first is, and actually, I think I'm going to save that one for next week, but we'll go with the Lady Canna herself. I mentioned her a bit ago, Ms. Tiffany Watkins, who's the founder of Vanguard Media and Vanguard Media Online, which is an online magazine that focuses on women in cannabis. You can find her on IG at Vanguard Media. And she's definitely somebody that you guys want to keep your eye on. I don't want to share too much of her information. If you guys will go back and actually watch one of our previous episodes, you guys can hear for yourself some of the announcements that she made and some of the contributions that she's making to the world of cannabis and helping it to become more diverse as well as equitable. So I definitely want to give our roses to her and to that, that business that is not only women owned, but it's owned by a Black woman. So that is my nomination, or my roses, like I said, given to this week. And then I do want to go ahead and shout out my fourth podcast. And I would love for you guys to catch up with it, to follow, like, and subscribe. It is the Boondocks podcast. Myself and two other women of color discuss weekly the different episodes of the Boondocks. We talk about how it's still relative. We talk about some of the issues. This week's episode, it got real spicy between me and another host. But, it was all done with respect, but we just have different perspectives on, what the second episode what it brought about, the emotions that it brought about. But that's what is awesome about the podcast, is that even though we're all women of color, we all have a much different story. And we've lived a different reality. But at the same time, we've lived the same reality. So we kind of showed that through the podcast, and we talked each episode. This week's episode was about the R. Kelly trial. So we're just into the second episode of the season. The next one, next week, is going to be the guest host coming to dinner. So if you guys have never watched the Boondocks, it's a great time for you to watch it, and then as well kind of follow up and keep up with our podcast. That'd be a great way for you to, kind of get deep into it, and how 15 years later it's still so relevant, and discusses a lot of social issues. And like I say many times, like I already said on the few episodes that we've had, Aaron Magruder is like a psychic. That man, he just forecasted a lot of shit that came true. Or that was very true. So I'm excited to get to like the itis episode, because that to me is exactly like the Popeye's chicken fiasco.
Right.
Like
right.
psychic. So yeah, so you guys can find the Boondocks podcast. If you search, it's on all platforms. You can just literally, I happened to Google something the other day and there it was. So if you're not able to find it, then follow the Boondocks podcast on Instagram and on Twitter. So yeah, that's my fourth, should be my last podcast for at least for now, but I'm trying to blow up, so I gotta take over. So why don't you go ahead and shout out? We will of course have your social media listed. Why don't you go ahead and shout out where people can find you? And I just want to thank you once again for being a guest, but go ahead, the floor is yours.
Thank you. On all platforms, Taylormind Studios. That is TAYLORDMIND Studios with the S on the end. Or Taylor Pannell. That is my art. Or Tay Pen, and that's my personal, just in case you want to be nosy and see what I'm doing.
I like that. And I follow both, I believe. So sometimes I'm nosy, sometimes I'm looking at business. Well, we thank you once again. We have a couple of great guest hosts coming up. Next week is going to be a dear friend of mine. Many of you know her around the Sacramento area. She is somebody that I go to who has a wealth of knowledge about cannabis and wellness and health. And that is, I call her Miss Lola. So we'll have her in the house. And then the following week, we're going to have another celebrity influencer, Mr. Trevor Fong. So we're going to have a couple of weeks of, some you don't want to miss episodes, just like this one. So you guys know where to find me. Oh, actually, before one last thing before we go. I do want to talk about the Black Podcasting Awards Kickstarter. You guys, I am hopefully a nominee for one of 3 categories for the Black Podcasting Awards, but they do have a Kickstarter that I would love for you guys to support. You can find them on Twitter. You can find them on Instagram at Black Podcasting Awards. And hopefully you guys can help out with a little bit of funding for this very first award, which is very, very important for the Black podcasters and the community of content creators. That's a burgeoning group of people. So check them out. Check out their Kickstarter. We would really very much appreciate your support. I know they would as well. So I did want to shout them out. Last thing, my slap of the week, Friday Night Cypher. On Big Sean's new album. It's like 10 or 12 minutes of fire. If you guys haven't listened, get on YouTube right after this, check it out. And I'm finally done now. So thank you again to my guest co-host. You guys know where to find me on all social media, IG, Menage with the Mary Jane Maven podcast, my personal, the Mary Jane Maven. You can find me at the Mary Jane Maven on Twitter, Menage with the Mary Jane Maven, and actually it's Menage with MJMAVN or the Mary Jane Maven. Of course, YouTube, Menage with the Mary Jane Maven podcast. Streaming services, all of them, Google, iHeartRadio, Apple, the whole lot of them. We love you guys. Yeah. Pow, 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 bang, bang, bang. Yeah, that's an inside joke. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your patience. I appreciate you once again, Queen. We will be in touch. And you stay blessed. Thank you, guys, everybody. See you next week.